Not holding previews for non-web, which is kind of strange. Because even like Wednesday movies, you still get the previews. But Madame Web released today, no one is gonna watch it. 20 to 25 million over the 6 days. Okay, not just 3 days, 6 days. That's awful. Okay, it's doing worse than Bob Marley Love One, which is a BIPOC about Bob Marley. But Tom Webb's numbers are terrible. 20 to 45 million. And once we get the Marvels, if we compare it to the Marvels underperformed these so-called projections, which are based off the pre-sales of the movie. That's where they get these projections from. They don't come from thin now. I used to really believe that. Like I said, oh, the Flash is gonna do better than this projected. Oh, it actually did. The projections come from pre-sales. Sometimes movies could do better than projected, like Barbie. Sometimes they could do worse, like the Marvels. Okay, a lot of people said the Marvels would gross 50 million. Well, it made less than 50 million. Okay, Elemental was make 40 million, gross a couple million less. It's kind of like within the margin of error, which means that the margin of error is 18 to around 17 to around 28 million. Considering that there's like empty feeders everywhere, I think around 17 to 23 million is the likely number for Madame Web. Heck, it could be for the 3 day, it'll probably like 8 to 10 million. And this movie needs to make Madame Web needs to make $300 million to break even. Okay, the budget is not that big for Madame Web. It needs to make $300 million to break even. Okay, the budget is 80. Oh, it's same as more. It's Morbius numbers. So actually, it's even less. $200 million. So we need to make $200 million to break even. It can't even. It may not even pass 20 million, and it's not. It could barely pass 20 million in 6 days. Yeah, it's not gonna make the amount it needs to break even. It's not gonna lose as much money as the Marvels because of the smaller budget, but this movie's not gonna make money, almost certainly. So we also have Bob Marley Love One, which is expected to do way better at the box office and take number one at the box office. Okay. Yeah. And I don't know who Bob Marley is, but I guess people who love Bob Marley are gonna watch the movie, obviously. Okay. It is outselling in advance ticket sales 2 to 1. And I don't even know who the hell Bob Marley is. I think I have to look up who Bob Marley is after this. Apparently he's a singer. Yeah. I think he's a singer. But apparently the movie about him, is doing far better. Far better than Madame Web. Basically, it's similar to Rocket Man, that movie. And the only music BIPOC that did really well is the Queen one. Okay, I think they should really do one about Michael Jackson, because considering that Michael Jackson had to play, I think that probably Michael Jackson, his movie will be rated R. Okay, Michael Jackson has been abused by his father. That would have to be shown. His descent into madness later in life. It would kind of be like the Joker movie, but it'll be about Michael Jackson. It would be a very, very wild ride. But Michael Jackson is one of the most famous singers. I can see why they haven't done a BIPOC about Michael Jackson. I can see why. Okay. But it's still doing better. And I have never even heard of Bob Marley. Okay, I've never even heard of this guy before. Apparently he must be popular among like Latin, Hispanic audiences, and women too. I think those are the two groups of people who are going to go watch that movie. But there was absolutely no one that wants to see Madame Web. No one cares but Madame Web. I always knew the Bob Marley movie wouldn't do that well, but Madame Web is doing far worse than expected. We're going back to the levels of superhero movies in the 2000s. Most of them will fail. No one will care about them as well. And Madame Web is attached to the Spider-Man IP. You would think, oh, but it's attached to the Spider-Man IP, so it'll do well. Nope, no one cares. No one cares. Madame Web is an absolute travesty and failure. No one wants to see this movie. And that's about Madame Web. No one cares about this movie. I think no one. Okay, it's down of older women and older men and younger females. That's what the people who want to see the movie. So yeah, and multicultural audiences. It says too. Multicultural audiences like Hispanic audiences are going to watch this movie as well. So the Madame Web, but no one wants to watch Madame Web. No, absolutely zero people want to watch Madame Web. It's just hilarious. It's doing worse than Morbius. I expect it to do worse domestically than Morbius. Heck, it might not even pass the $100 million domestically. Okay, it might not even pass $100 million domestically. Actually, it won't pass $100 million. $100 million globally. That would be a bad day for Madame Web. But we're seeing that it's becoming more and more likely. No previews for Madame Web, but absolutely zero people not want to see it. Goodbye.